we're live. I don't know why I'm singing, but hey, everyone, thank you for coming by. This is the Crafty. This is the Crafty Boys, and we do a podcast every week on Wednesday nights where we drink beer and talk about stuff. So, there's no real reason for you not to come by, and there's no real reason for you to join in. So, we were talking in great detail just a moment ago about how the internet is awesome and how Alan's internet is not awesome because his internet is giving him grief because there's one other person in his home that is basically using the entire bandwidth. So, what can you do other than so it's just me and Dave at the moment, and hopefully our other Locke will show up because he is now done his schooling for the year, so he might be able to show up. If not, that's okay. But Dave, how's it going, man?
It's going good. My back is killing me.
Your back.
I would just like to say that I think at some point, I'm not sure how this would happen, but I think it needs to.
Okay.
We need a what would it be? A compilation of show openings.
Of show openings. What do you mean?
Because I'm pretty sure if somebody was to go back and do that, every one of your intros would be different.
You really think so? I've actually, quite honestly, I have thought of that myself because
I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure they are because I pay attention to that, and I could easily be misled. And maybe there's some that are
we have been misled.
Yeah, maybe they're not as original as I think some of them, but I swear to Christ, pretty much every one of them has at least a little difference. More like a lot of difference.
I try my best. I do try.
Hats off to you, sir. Hats off.
I'm kind of curious now if they are different. Hey, I can go look through some of them and see if they are, and cut them out and see if they are totally usable. And make you a little compilation. It is, as I said, of course, it is whatever day it is. What day is it? Who are we? It's Wednesday. Wow. So anyway, yeah, I think I just had a stroke again.
We are finito.
Thank you, Peanut Gallery. So basically, yeah, Alan, who's not here, picked the beer this week, and I also actually have chosen a few beers for the next few weeks as well because did you get those photos I sent into the online gallery there to show off some of the stuff I saw today? No,
I did not. You didn't give me a link, but I'm assuming if I just go to the gallery, they'll be there.
You'll see it in the gallery. You should have actually got a notification of some sort. But anyway, not important. But this week we have Russell Brewing's Blood Alley ESB.
Okay, so mine is different. My label is
they have different bottles, and I did actually ask the nice man at the store, and he said it is the same product. The bottle label is different. That's what he said. But I'm also familiar with this beer as well because I have actually seen this one before. And about 2013, 2012, we actually had Russell Brewing sponsor they were one sponsor, sort of. Well, they showed up and just gave us a bunch of beer for free. So, hey, but at the Northern Voice blogging conference that we used to run here in Vancouver, and yeah, so I've had it because they dumped off. I think we actually had about 4 or 5 6-packs of the ESB here. So yeah, it was kind of fun. I enjoyed it, and I have fond memories of it because it was free. Why would it not be free? So yeah, so there you go. So basically, if you are somebody who's had Russell Brewing before, which I think you and I have there, Mr. Dave.
Yeah, we've had some. Alan, it's quite funny. Alan said this is the only one we haven't done from Russell. I beg to differ.
Actually,
But
that was me that said that
oh, you said
because
that, yeah.
yeah, well, mainly
No.
because I just brought up the spreadsheet. We have done their IPA, their Punch Bowl, which we did back in episode 10.
Whoa.
So that is a
Digging into the deep
long time
cuts
ago.
there.
Getting into the big cuts. We also did their Angry Scotch Ale in
Yeah.
episode 39,
Angry.
and their Naughty and Spice Porter at for episode 41. That was one of the Christmas ones, I think.
Although
We
at the
also
moment they've got a white rabbit.
we should try it because that's not on my list. They also did we also did the root beer milk stout, which I saw on the shelf today. And yeah, now the bad thing is that I was talking to the nice man at the brewing place at the BC liquor store, um, because this beer was actually nowhere. I went to one location that they said they had a whole bunch, and this guy gave me a small earful about how Russell Brewing is really terrible at sending the BC liquor store the right product. He says we order stuff,
Oh.
they send us the correct amount, the wrong beer all the time.
Oh.
So apparently they took the Blood Alley bitter and they sent the stuff that they had, which was still in their database on on the website. They sent it to Cambie and Eighth. So I walked over there and picked it up, a little ways away. So that was pretty good. But I did find it. I was very happy, and the ESB and the label you have were on the same shelf, which is why I asked the nice man. I said, why are these different? Because the pig is the thing, the little the cleaver. He just said it was the same product. Is that true?
Well, I'm sure it is. They're both
I don't know.
ESBs, but
Because you hold up your label again.
I have a feeling mine is just a little bit older label.
Uh, you've got but of course, what actually? How big is your bottle?
It's the same size.
Is it
Hang on.
is it a bomber?
650 mil.
Okay, so yeah, I've got I could only get the ones in the 6 pack, which are 330. So I
Oh.
think
I
that might be the reason.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't mind. Now, of course,
It's kind of funny that they
I
bother
kind of
with different labeling, though.
well, this is the thing is that this particular bottle is because when we were talking earlier before we started, I did bring up the beer on their website, and they say that it is in two formats, the 330 and the 650.
Right.
So my assumption is because they have the extra special bitter, and then they have in the smaller bottles the ESB, which might just be a labeling space thing. Who knows? Anyway, who cares? Let's open this mother and let's try it out because I'm kind of curious.
Done.
I don't have a glass.
Yeah.
Hey, Peanut Gallery, could you bring me a glass? You're playing Tetris. Wow. I give you how much beer for this show, and you can't even bring me a glass. What's wrong with you? I don't understand how the Peanut Gallery could do. Thank you. You're amazing. You're welcome. All right, so I'm pouring this. Mine's actually not as cold as I'd like it because I had to wander around a bit, as I said, to go get it. I didn't put it in the freezer because I'm a boy and I'm dumb. Oh yeah, that's what I
So that's a
remember.
lot. That's a lot ahead. I poured it more carefully probably than
So
you just did. I wasn't
there we go.
attempting to get much.
Hmm.
It smells really good.
It's not bad. And I mean, I'm a fan of and we've had them on the show 4 times now.
Oh,
So, but I'm a fan of Russell Brewing mainly because they make a good product any which way you shake it, and I've never said no to a Russell thing. Now, apparently, this particular one is the what's it called? Their Brewmaster series, I think, is what they're called. Actually, okay. Let me go and look because I have the website here, but let me go to the front page. This beer is listed as being in the Brewmaster series, which means that it is a succession of small batch beers crafted for an unconventional beer drinker. So essentially, they Is this a barrel? Do they leave this in a barrel? Excuse me. I don't think so. Whatever. Doesn't matter. They use chocolate malt, so I'm good with that. Not bad at all. Good Lord. I am pleased with this particular experience.
I like the story. That's interesting.
What is the story on yours? Because I do not have it.
Kind of
Because
gory.
the
Oh, it's not
label,
on your label?
the label is pretty
Oh,
limited.
okay. So the coolness
hear
is
it.
on this one.
Story
Blood
time
Alley
with-
Bitter. Blood Alley Bitter is an extra special bitter named after a notorious cobblestone laneway in Vancouver's Gastown district. Fucking cool. According to legend, Blood Alley was home to many fine butchers and was one of the best places to source high-quality meats. The butchers would clean their stores using buckets of water at the end of the day. The water would spill out into the alley, lining the cobblestones with blood, hence the name Blood Alley. Cool. If somewhat gory.
Well, it's Blood Alley, but it's also kind of funny because the Blood Alley is a gory story, but also is kind of funny because we also have the Brewery Creek, which because Blood Alley runs between Abbott and Carroll, I think, if I remember. But basically, yeah. So it basically dumps out into just not far from where Gassy Jack is. If you know Gastown at all, Gassy Jack is a statue that sits right sort of where Carroll, Alexander, Water Street come together, and Pryor, I think, is it Pryor, Pender or Pryor, one of the two. So yeah, so they come together in this weird sort of five-way stop thing. And the and Blood Alley is pretty much right there. And yeah, and then which is kind of funny, not funny. It's kind of cool because we have that sort of history, but then we have where I live here, there's Brewery Creek, which the last remaining piece, if you would like to call it a creek, is still here, and it runs actually right under our building, which is kind of scary in one respect. But overall,
Yeah.
I gotta say the little bit of history I kind of like because I really I don't know. I just like that little piece, that little detail. And I think that there should be a lot of other beers that do that, a lot of other breweries that do that, where they have these different pieces of history from where they're made, and a lot of them do. But
More.
One thing I did find it actually recently. Speaking of Vancouver, is about distribution. And I was complaining to somebody who's in the industry who works as a brewer, and he was talking about how as I was complaining about, he was asking about the podcast, how it was going, and I said, "Yeah, no, we're doing fine. We have fun and stuff." And I said, "But the one problem we keep running into is the beer availability is not. I don't mind if we can't find it. Seasonal stuff, of course, yeah, it runs out. But it would be great if it was a bit more even for the actual selection." And yeah, apparently everyone wants to have InBev as their distributor because apparently InBev, it's I sort of called it sort of what's his name on Three's Company, Mr. Furley. It was this crazy landlord of the lead characters, but he was kind of he was trying to be hip, and that's kind of what I thought of InBev in their distribution level, because it was kind of like, hey, he could be completely hey crazy at one moment, and the next moment he's trying to be cool. Hey man, how are you? I am so incredibly hip and happening, that kind of thing. But I will deliver anywhere you want. So there you go. But apparently InBev isn't in our province, so I don't know why.
So his claim is that no InBev, no good distribution.
Exactly. That InBev apparently has it down as a science, and A lot of the other smaller players haven't quite figured it out. But again, I don't work in the industry. All I know is that I'm somebody who's like, I'd like to get this beer. And then, which reminds me, I have found a beer that we have to do. It's only available. God, this stupid camera. It's only available in town here. So I'm probably going to mail it to you too. I need you guys to have this because it's an amazing IPA. Even you will love it. So
that is a bold statement, sir.
I stand by it. I stand by my statement because there's no way you'd hate this. If you hate this,
that's it. We're done.
That's it. We're finished. So yeah.
Okay, well, I look forward to this.
But overall,
I've never received a beer in the mail.
You never received beer in the mail?
That would be amazing.
Well,
I never. What's that? I don't even know if it's going anymore. What's that? Freaking wine club that you can sign up for, and you get a different selection monthly or something like that. Yeah, it's a subscription.
I'd have to check this out. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. This is multiple years ago now.
Right.
I think I stumbled across it on YouTube or some freaking thing because they had a channel, or I don't know what it was. Can't remember now. It's been so long. But that's essentially what it is. Monthly wine subscription. And Al's back.
I'm here.
He's here.
I am here.
So what do you think?
Have we tried the beer yet?
Is this going to be smooth?
Thanks everyone coming out. I'm so glad you guys are here to watch this incredibly awesome episode. I can't believe we had 7,000 viewers. Thank you so much for checking us out. And yep, up yours, Alan.
Have you guys tried the beer yet?
Yes.
We've
been drinking it. So.
Okay, I haven't opened mine yet. So let me sorry, we're gonna backtrack everybody a little bit here. I'm gonna open it up.
Is he talking?
It smells like beer.
It smells like beer.
That reminds me of that Cheech and Chong thing.
Question: did you get yours in the bomber or in anything else?
Looks like a bomber to me.
I got a bomber.
Yeah, they didn't. I couldn't get it in bomber. I had to get it in the. I don't know why I held up my glass. I could only get it in sixes.
So, okay.
The one thing that we did note, which I gather from the nice man at the store, is not the label is slightly different on the smaller bottles.
Yes, it is.
But apparently, same product. Just because of the smaller bottles, it looks like it looks slightly different. Yeah.
Dave, did you get yours in the bomber or the little bottles?
Bomber,
yeah. So the reason why I picked this beer is we haven't done anything from Russell in a while, so I wanted to pick that one. I think we've done a lot of stuff from Russell actually, but it's been a while since we've done anything from them. And I don't recall that we've ever done a bitter.
Yeah, we did an ESB actually not too long ago. Yeah. I think I picked it, if I remember correctly.
2 or 3 actually, if I think about it. Oh, wait, let me go to the raw data for our brewery style count.
We have raw data.
We have raw data. The ESBs are where?
I could just imagine he has like a 1960s Batman style computer, and it's like spitting out papers like he's like reading it. He goes, "Oh, here's the raw data coming out."
Points out that it's like
working
the M5 from the original Star Trek. Working, exactly. Working. We have done it. So I gotta go down this list. Oh my god, we've done a lot. We're alcoholics, man.
Yeah.
Clearly.
At any rate, I don't think we have done very many.
No, not very
bitters,
many.
ESBs, have we?
Shoot, I lost my.
So I thought it was kind of due. And another thing was this was a beer that we could all get. I was actually going to choose a different beer, but then I saw this and
Driftwood Brewery, Naughty Hildegard, ESB. We did a Bomber ESB way back in the day, and that looks like it's it.
You know what's interesting is I did not get this at my friendly local provincial booze store.
No?
Nope, they did not have it. They had a, what did they have? They had a Russell. Now I can't remember what it was. Oh, I think it was a Wee Heavy. But yeah, I had to go to Cascadia to get this one.
I went to Liquor Plus, but it was available at Cascadia and available at the provincial liquor store close by. So I just happened to be near Liquor Plus, and that's where I got it. So I'm kind of liking this. Yeah. Now it's. Did you guys discuss the name at all?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Huh?
That should be your lead-in. Go.
Okay. So it's obviously called Blood Alley, which is named after an alley in Gastown.
Yeah, we talked about this already.
Oh, you talked about it.
Okay, I thought you had some other detail that I hadn't spoken. Never mind.
All right.
No, we did. We talked about Blood Alley because Blood Alley is not far from here, and it runs. If you go and see Gassy Jack, you're pretty much at the entrance to Blood Alley, and yeah, no, it's kind of cool. I was raving about it, so
I did my best to fill in for you, Alan, and gave the story a dramatic reading.
Oh, cool.
Whoa, what is this link you have sent? What is this other one you sent? What?
Some stuff that we can talk about.
Well, we already talked at length about the other stuff. Let's talk about the other one. Let's talk about the. Oh my god!
So this was posted in the Georgia Strait this afternoon, and I wasn't looking for it, but I saw it, and I was like, "Oh my god, we got to talk about this." So apparently, a woman goes into a Tim Hortons in Langley, gets into some kind of an argument with the staff over I don't know what. Like maybe she wanted to use the bathroom or something. They wouldn't let her. So she drops her drawers in the middle of the store and takes a crap on the floor and then picks it up and throws it at the staff.
Jesus.
There's even a video, like a security video of this woman doing this.
Wow.
Like, who does this? I mean, things have to be pretty dire.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say, you know, this woman probably wasn't in her completely right mind.
I don't know. I mean, there's a video, and I watched the video, and you know, I mean, she doesn't look like, you know, she's particularly disheveled or anything. I don't know
that everybody that's got something going on is
what was interesting though is while all this is going on, the other patrons are just sitting down drinking their coffee, pretending like nothing is happening.
What, like you're gonna get in the middle of that?
My favorite part is that she paused to wipe.
Yeah, she did. She grabs some napkins from behind the counter, wipes, and throws those at the staff as well.
Yikes.
See, I like the article that says props to her for being able to do it on command.
Mm-hmm.
And then she threw her freshly made mud monkey at the staff.
Mud monkey.
I haven't seen much else. I assume this person was apprehended, arrested. What? Like, I don't even know if I want to know. But wow. So that's a thing that happened. How do you follow that up? Thank you, everyone, and good night. Holy, speaking of
how do you follow that up?
Locke, my man, how's it going?
Yo, not too bad, not too bad. Yeah.
We were just viewing an awesome YouTube video of a woman who was in a Tim Hortons in Langley and was very upset with the staff, dropped her pants and crapped on the floor, and then threw her crap at the people that work there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Excitement galore.
I'm just curious. Before we go any further, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm getting all kinds of stupid error messages tonight. It took me forever to get into this thing because Google, in their wisdom, decided that first of all, I couldn't possibly be a real person because nobody travels, right? And then they needed me to install a plugin, and the plugin failed to either install or verify. I don't know which. So then I tried to just use the same link on Safari, and evidently it did need a plugin in Safari. Firefox needed one, but Safari didn't. Okay, all right. And now it gives me an error message telling me that my microphone is muted or the hardware isn't working. And evidently you can hear me fine. So I don't know what to think.
Totally hear you fine. Your computer lies. We're going to move on from the crapping woman in the Langley thing, which, by the way...
Good, actually. I approve of that move.
Oh, by the way, the beer we're drinking tonight is the Russell Brewing Blood Alley ESB.
Oh, look at that.
I want to move on to the story that I just sent to the chat just now after you connected, because I thought of you right away. Have any of you guys watched the television program not Robot Chicken, Mr. Robot?
No.
If you haven't seen Mr. Robot, it's Christian Slater, Rami Malek, and a bunch of other people, some decent level acting. But he was chosen to play in the film Bohemian Rhapsody. He is playing Freddie Mercury. And the trailer came out yesterday. If you haven't seen it, I recommend checking it out. The actors that they've chosen to play the different members of the band, spot on. If you were to watch Mr. Robot or anything that Malik has been in, you may never think of him as being anyone who could look like or perform as Freddie Mercury. Trailer puts all of that to rest. It is astounding to see. It's one of those moments where the actor appears. If you didn't know it was Malik, you probably would assume it's Freddie Mercury.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if he actually sings. I haven't read much about that part yet. But, if you like Queen at all, who cares? It's just really...
they can Milli Vanilli that shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, totally.
But I would like to... I would hope that they actually have them at least the vocals, please, to be the actor. But again,
what would be kind of cool?
You're gonna do Freddie. You can't do Freddie. Freddie's Freddie.
Freddie is Freddie indeed, but I gotta say,
you know what the world is lacking right now, like
Freddie Mercury.
Well, that,
but
also like an original kind of movie or something where that features a band that actually makes music, like what we had with the Commitments in the early '90s, or
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so that was good music. I mean, they were actors.
Like you're saying a movie about the craft of music.
Kind of, yeah. Well,
yeah.
Or Spinal Tap. Spinal Tap is another great one where, these guys that were portraying these, but they were, they could have been an actual band for all you knew. right?
Oh, look, they evolved from a you know, like the sort of the side characters on Laverne and Shirley into being a movie, into being an actual band. Like they played gigs.
So what would be wrong with, say, the cast from this movie about Queen actually becoming like a tribute band and touring and putting out albums? And
well, if they've got the musical skill, nothing.
yeah,
I guess
I think that would be kind of cool.
I guess I wonder if the world needs a high level Queen tribute band, but okay, you know, like maybe
the
they
doesn't need anything.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I like it actually. Look, it's a funny game. This whole band video thing, like I think there's maybe an argument that some bands sort of today really ride on their videos more than they ride on their musicianship or even on their touring. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
True.
And for that matter, I mean, you know, like, I mean, there's more permutations still. They could then take that and leverage it into being a hockey team like DOA did.
Yeah.
And if they did, I can't imagine they could have done any worse than the fucking Winnipeg Jets did this evening.
Yeah, I hear the Jets didn't perform.
I like if they'd played the first half of the game the way they played the last half, they might have won. But the way they played the first half of the game was so bad, I sort of don't know what to say. Like, I mean, how about fucking, you know, goes behind the net for no reason and somebody scores? Okay, all right, that was a good move. Why'd you do that? The best part is, like, there were two goals this evening that happened, like, literally within seconds of the puck dropping. Like in the first period, like, I don't think it took a full 30 seconds for the Golden Knights to score a goal. And then finally Winnipeg sort of shores it up. They get a goal, and then less than 30 seconds later they let another one in.
Mm.
I don't know what to say about that. Anyway, this is maybe a little bit off point.
A little.
No,
but that's okay.
I don't mind at all.
But I think I think where Lockhart was going is a fair point. I mean, like, say with the commitments, couldn't you create a movie with actors that are actually hockey players too? And like actually make a team that's based in the movie, but have them like challenge in real life? Could you,
or you could do like that? The Golden Knights and be like Andrew Lloyd Webber before you start actually playing hockey.
Sure. Whatevs.
By the way, the Peanut Gallery has provided me a story here. I don't know where it is. It looks like it's on the World News Daily Report. Lottery
That's
winner.
a reputable.
Yeah. Lottery winner arrested for dumping $200,000 of manure on his.
Oh, yes, I read this.
Have you read this?
Yes.
So there you go. Thank you, Peanut Gallery.
The general consensus is that it is fake.
Yeah,
but it's an interesting idea.
You're well. Thank you, Peanut Gallery. Sorry, you were saying, Locke.
So, yes, sorry.
Who was speaking words? It doesn't matter, because you know what? We have beer that's actually not too bad. And by the way, I'm raising my beer to Locke, who has just finished within the last week his second year of schooling down there in Beerland.
Nice job,
yes.
Locke. So,
thank
Locke,
you very much.
Are you still in Portland?
I am in Toronto now.
Oh, you're in Toronto.
Yeah.
That's why he has internet.
I see. I have to ask, just because I'm curious, what is that thing behind you? It looks like a chewed up straw.
What?
There's this sort of white tubular thing.
Oh no, it's
behind
yeah.
you.
Hold on.
It does look like a chewed up straw.
You know when you take a straw and you
It's a
chew it up
statue.
in your teeth?
It's a naked.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yep. That's what I'm
It's
talking
a
about.
naked person.
Ah,
Yeah. It's a naked lady.
naked lady chewed up straw. Same thing, right?
Why? Never mind. I don't even want to know.
I don't really have a good answer, so it's just as well that we don't.
It's just there. Wow, that totally derailed me. So, how about that local sports team?
Well, there are no local sports teams in anything, is there? Or is there Whitecaps? I don't know. I don't follow soccer.
I guess,
So Vancouver, I think Whitecaps is probably because who supports the Canucks? Fuck. I mean, that's another
nobody
thing.
right now because they're
about
not
the Golden
playing,
Knights
so.
is they now have the ugliest uniforms in the NHL because the Canucks changed theirs to a better posture. But
true.
All right.
I have trouble
Moving on.
even getting over the idea of the Knights. Like, seriously?
oh, like how to fucking ruin hockey? You know what I mean?
Now I gather
That said, I have to say, Fleury is a fucking amazing goaltender.
Yeah.
He is sometimes, not always.
Not all the time.
There's sometimes, maybe not this season, but in past seasons where he has not looked like a great goalie.
Yeah, well, look, everybody has off nights. I think Hellebuck was sort of what was going on there tonight, but.
So I take it, Locke, that you're supporting Winnipeg.
Oh God, yes.
Yes.
Look, there's a little known fact. I am originally a Winnipegger. I was born in Winterpeg.
So
yeah,
you have jet blood coursing.
Now,
through...
I'll be honest. Most of the time, I'm a Flames supporter, but.
Really?
Yeah. Well, look. I mean, I spent a lot of years in Calgary.
Shane.
Yeah.
I think we need to have words. As a Canucks fan,
yes, Locke spent he spent a lot of time in Manitoba. He then moved to Victoria, but then he spent even more time in Calgary. So it's understandable.
Calgary. Yeah.
But
I don't know what it is about hockey rivalries in Canada, but for some reason, Canucks fans hate Flames fans, and vice versa.
It's not as bad as Flames and Oilers, but
I don't know. And maybe right now because of Connor McDavid and all that, and then in the past with the Battle of Alberta, but there was for a long time there.
I seem to. If memory serves, the last time Canucks fans really hated anybody, it was Tampa. that and Cars.
Yeah. I guess.
You so don't sound anywhere.
I think what we need to do is have an intervention for Lockhart and bring him over to the good side. And be a Canuck supporter.
Let's compromise. Let's talk about Winterpeg.
Yeah, you know what? I'm all for Winnipeg, the Jets, what they're doing this season. I think they deserve it. It just seems like Las Vegas. It's for their first year. It's their year. I'm completely flummoxed by the fact that this team, which is made up of a bunch of ragtag cast-offs from other NHL teams, is not only was
how much did they pay the Penguins for fucking Fleury?
Nothing, as far as I'm aware. Unless
well, they didn't pay the Penguins. Yeah, but how much are they paying Fleury over the Penguins? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I mean, my understanding was that the Penguins weren't going to sign him because they had a minor leaguer, like their backup was ready for the full-time role.
Was that what happened there?
Yes. So his contract had expired. They weren't going to re-sign him.
But that's because he was asking for really like a lot of money, right?
Well, you also have to consider that they have Sidney Crosby and have Jenny Malkin on their payroll. They can't afford to keep all these guys forever.
Yeah.
Eventually, they got to let some of them go. And in this case, Fleury was the odd man out. They couldn't afford him anymore. So he went before his contract ended on July 1st of last year. They held the expansion draft, and he was drafted by the Golden Knights and then signed before he became a free agent.
Oh, is that how that worked?
That's how that worked.
Okay. Huh.
But
Well,
his contract was ending, and he was not going to get re-signed by the Penguins.
Right. Okay. Well, look, I mean, given that the Golden Knights, so far as I can tell, is nothing but an advertisement for gambling anyway, I'm sure the casinos can afford it.
Yes. It's absolutely amazing to me how well they're doing as an expansion team. They have aside from Fleury, they have nobody on that team who should be getting a whiff of a Stanley Cup series.
Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing about their team, though. Take a look at the guys playing. They didn't hire talent. They hired size. They're all fucking. It's like a team of fucking Tim Hunters or something.
Right. But all they can do is just pick what's available. They can only pick what the other teams have left unprotected. So every team can protect X number of players, and the rest of them are unprotected. And Vegas comes in and says, and can pick one player from every team. So, the teams are going to protect, obviously, their best and brightest players. So the only players that Vegas were able to get were the ones that nobody else really absolutely wanted. So, and then they were able to do some wheeling and dealing after the fact and make some trades and deal with some draft picks and all that kind of stuff. So they were able to shore up their talent a little bit that way. But I mean, they have, as an expansion team, gone way beyond what any other expansion team has ever done in their first season. When the Panthers, the Florida Panthers, when they first came into the league, they had made the Stanley Cup final, I think, in their 6th season. And that was considered to be incredible. And for the Vegas Golden Knights to have made it as far as they have now, being one series away from a Stanley Cup final in their first year of existence, it's
impressive, isn't it?
It's more than impressive. It defies logic.
Drugs. It's drugs.
Part of it is, I think they were able to make the playoffs because they won so many home games, because teams that were coming to Vegas to play against them, they're in Vegas. They're going to party. Right. So,
that is an interesting
their games.
Point. Yeah, maybe that's a piece of what's going on.
Yeah.
Mm.
Did you ever see The Lightning Thief? Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief?
No, I didn't. I'm aware of it.
Okay, so it's based on a book. And anyway, the characters they're mythological, the children of mythological creatures. And they are on a quest to find the Lightning Thief. And they go through Vegas. And while they're in Vegas, they go into a casino and they're given these lotus. The staff there are giving them these lotus flowers, and they're eating them, and they're getting all wasted and stuff on these lotus flowers, and they lose track of time, and they get totally off course on their quest. And I kind of feel like that's what's happening to teams that are visiting the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights are probably offering them these lotus flowers and everything. Oh, what time is the game? Oh my God, the game starts in 5 minutes. Oh, we better run.
You could be right. I think you make a very good point there, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm still in the fact that you actually stomached your way through a Percy Jackson movie.
I kind of liked it.
Like, not having seen it, I can't comment. But
I think I made it about in the first one. I think I watched about 10 minutes, and
really,
for two reasons. One, it sucked, and the second reason is that they made no effort to hide the filming locations, so it was very much a Canadian production.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it like Magicians, only like less millennially?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
It also didn't do that well. I gather they were going to make a whole bunch of them, but I think they only did two. Actually, I'll look this up. Hang on.
Not sure. I only saw the first one.
Jackson. Here we go.
I gave up on Magicians. I couldn't stomach the main character.
Film.
Sorry, there's a main character?
Well, I guess. Yeah, it's sort of the main guy.
They made two. They made one in 2010 and one in 2013. But I gather it just, because it was filmed. A lot of it was filmed here, and on the first film, and then the second one they filmed most of it here, but some of it in Louisiana. It didn't do very well compared to the budgets they had, I guess.
I don't know. I liked the first one. I mean, I didn't think it was like Oscar worthy or anything, but
no, true.
It was, an entertaining film. I was interested.
Mm-hmm. What so I gather the author is sort of like is it a little bit Harry Potterish?
Yeah,
I would say it was well, the movie, I haven't read the book. The movie is intended for a teen audience, I would say.
Okay.
Or a younger audience anyway. And yeah, there's definitely, you could tell it's inspired by Harry Potter, I think.
Okay. I'm sort of getting the picture.
But again, this is another movie that follows my successful movie model.
Okay.
And that is every single really successful movie out there has a couple of elements, and they're all the same. So if you look at Star Wars, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, and maybe that one's not a good one to mention, but also say Pirates of the Caribbean. You've got
none of the recent sequels, you mean?
None of the recent ones, the first ones.
Yeah.
You have a fish out of water, young boy kind of character who's finding his way. You've got the female kind of love interest. She's, like a princess, or somebody who's from aristocracy or something like that, but she's getting down and dirty and fighting with the boys. And then you've got the swashbuckler. And
sorry, who's the swashbuckler in Harry Potter?
Well, yeah, okay, it's going to be.
I was kind of wondering about that myself.
Yeah, it's going to be Ron Weasley.
Okay. All right. Continue.
Yeah, but I mean, was it Jack Sparrow, Han Solo, in
who's the Percy
Jackson? The guy he's the satyr. I don't remember.
I hope he's nothing like the magician's satyr.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, in all these movies, you have that kind of thing going on, and even with the Pirates of the Caribbean, they even have two pirates that are sort of the comic relief. One is tall and thin, the other one's short and fat.
You mean like Laurel and Hardy?
Like Laurel and Hardy, like C-3PO and R2-D2, that act as like the comic relief.
Okay. So you're saying that archetypes are a thing, and
in movies, and if you want to create a successful movie, you need to follow that.
Okay.
You have a better chance of having a successful movie if you follow that. So you got your farm boy who's being thrust into the action. You've got the rich damsel who somehow knows how to fight and be a hero. The swashbuckler who befriends them and guides them on the journey. You've got your two comic relief characters. One has to be tall and thin, the other one short and fat. And you've got a bad guy who's not necessarily the head bad guy, and the head bad guy is maybe kind of mysterious.
Okay.
Well, there's been lots of ink spilled about how Lucas basically took the hero's journey and just, mapped it onto an updated wrapping, if you will.
Yeah, that's what he did. Now, I'm going to point out, Shane, you posted something on Facebook today about you saw a trailer for 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yes.
And you compared that to science fiction, and you compared it to Star Wars. I just wanted to point out, Star Wars is not and never was considered to be science fiction. Just because a movie takes place in outer space does not make it science fiction. In Star Wars case, I would say it's more closely related to, say, like a Western serial than it is science fiction. It just happens to take place in space.
Okay. I think the term space opera is one that I've heard thrown around a bit.
Yes, space opera, I would agree with that. It's not science fiction, though.
So define science fiction.
Science fiction is not necessarily a movie that takes place in space, but it is a story that involves science.
Well, yeah, look, I mean, there's science fiction and there's speculative fiction. I think, like Heinlein was arguably science fiction in his day. I think, certainly somebody like Asimov was definitely science fiction.
Mm-hmm. Star Trek is science fiction. That is absolutely science fiction.
Arguably, although I actually think the original series of Star Trek was more or less mapped out on the career of Captain Cook.
Possibly.
Just set in space.
Possibly. But every time, they vent the drive plasma, I mean, that is science fiction. Can you do
science fiction?
Can you deflect a photon torpedo by venting drive plasma?
What I think is kind of interesting about William Gibson is he's science fiction, but the science is sociology, if you see what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If that's
then you could get into, I was going to say you could get into arguments about whether sociology is
it humanities
or not.
Yeah.
Because, of course, your physicists and all that would argue that no, they're the
macro
only science.
like statistical sociology is a science. Interpretive sociology is probably more like a humanity. Anyway,
by the way, hey Locke, what beer are you drinking? What beer are you drinking tonight?
Right. So I stashed away a bottle of the Duchess here. I didn't really stash it away. I left it in the fridge is what I did. And nobody else touched it, which is to say that nobody else thinks that's a fucking fantastic drink except me. But there you go.
That's awesome. I have had this tonight. I haven't had anything else today, come to think of it. Nope, I have not. Dave, do you have any final words on the concept of science fiction beyond 1977? And by the way, I just made an amendment to my Facebook post while you guys are having a discussion. I was trying to imply on my post, or trying to illustrate on my post, that I've met many people who are younger than me by, not much, but like 10, 15 years, who don't seem to understand that science fiction goes beyond 1977. There's a lot of camp, I suppose, that gets brought out for viewing once in a while, 1950s science fiction, that kind of thing. But I for some reason, I keep having this back in my mind that before I was born, there actually was a film called 2001, which was in a foundation for future films in a lot of ways.
Don't forget about Plan 9 from Outer Space, too.
Yes, of course. I also can't forget Amazon.
Have any of you seen the Harryhausen Jack the Giant Killer?
No, I have not.
You need to, as soon as is possibly convenient. It is beyond words awesome. I'm not kidding. I hadn't seen it either until like a week ago. I stumbled into a bar that so there's this bar, right? So there's this bar.
I can just imagine you stumbling into a bar,
right? There's this bar in Portland called Creepies, and they play retro sci-fi and horror films. And I walked in and I started watching this thing, and I thought, Jack the Giant Killer. Oh, okay, so some sort of Jack and the Beanstalk. I didn't even know it was Harryhausen at first, and then I looked at the claymation and I'm like, oh, I recognize that. Oh my god! And then I started to realize, wow, this is so fucking psychedelic. I sort of don't know what to do with myself. This is wild shit.
Now, when did this come out?
I don't know. I think it was probably, I'm going to say 68 or later, but I sort of don't know. Oh my god!
Who was in it?
I'm pretty sure that
1962, Jack the Giant Killer.
Oh yeah, it could be 1962. That seems early to me, but it could be. I think what's his name? Oh, Vincent Price. I think Vincent Price is in it.
Oh, really? Now I really must see it.
Yes. No. This is it is visually astonishing.
Let's see, because I don't see anything that Vincent Price is in called Jack the Giant Killer.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't Vincent Price. If not, it was a very close resembling kind of Vincent Price sort of actor.
He was in something called Jackals. Sorry. Probably not the one you're thinking of.
Vincent Price in Jackass.
So my buddy, a famous actor, Vincent Price, is going to be drinking an entire barrel of horse semen. So, hey, Vincent, come on over here. While you're doing that, please, can you tell us any sort of awesome things that might have happened on the set of Michael Jackson's Thriller? Anything that, you might not have shared with the public audience as you drink the ejaculate of a horse. You see, it's terrible. I know it's terrible, but I gather, and I've never actually seen a Jackass film, but I have hung out with people who love them, and apparently that in the third Jackass film, that was one of the stunts they pulled, was going to a stud farm, and one of the performers masturbated a horse and then consumed what the horse left in whatever So I'm not pulling that out of the air. Supposedly that happened, and I did remember looking it up on the internet not long after, because I'm like, really, that can't be a thing. Yeah, it did.
Man,
I have to drink beer.
Yeah, I don't know. There's stunts and then there's stunts.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between like one of who's the lead guy, Steve-O or whatever his name is, Johnny something or other, the other guy, Knoxville. And I remember seeing once him talking. I think he was on a podcast of some sort. He was talking about how he broke and shattered his knee or leg or something. And then they showed a clip of the incident where he actually did this, and the stunt was he was trying to do that thing that people recommend. And this is something stunt people do all the time, is when they get hit by a car during filming, they make sure to have their body generally one side towards the vehicle so that they can pick their leg up and leap up onto the hood of the car. Mm-hmm. It looks dramatic, but if you do that, all the energy goes into your whole body taking the hit rather than, breaking a leg. And he was trying to, I think it was Steve-O, was trying to jump over a car or
do that.
I know what it was. He was standing on a box. That's what it was. He was standing on a box of some sort of structure that was not that far off the ground, and a car drove through it and he fell. And that's when he messed up his body. And what was the other thing? I can't remember. But anyway, basically, yeah. So he failed at that stunt, broke bones and things like that. And then I guess he had to jack off a horse. So
there you go.
Sounds reasonable.
It's something that's completely reasonable. I don't see how that could be wrong at any time. So. I mean, really, I'm drinking beer now. So I gotta say, the beer this evening is not bad. It's decent. I like Russell's product. I've had this one before, of course, and I've enjoyed it then. I enjoyed it now. Dave, I'd like to hear your review on what you thought about this particular beer.
I didn't mind it. A little more hoppy than I like my beers, though.
Yeah,
it's got that little more edge, I think, that I could have done without.
All right. Alan?
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. This is my first time having it. I've seen it on the shelves tons for years, and I've never, seeing a cleaver with a pig and it's like little sectioned off with little numbers on it doesn't really seem all that appealing to me. But at any rate, I picked it up. I don't know if I get it again, if I'm honest.
Okay. Locke, have you ever had the Russell Brewing stuff?
Yeah, I like trying to think what I've had. I feel like I've had their Wee Heavy a few times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Wee Heavy's good. I love Wee Heavy. I'm a big fan of their hop therapy in the summer. That's a great one.
Yeah, no, Russell is strong. I'm good with those guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we'll leave it at that because Lucius Malfoy told us to. And,
all right.
If you don't ever want to piss off Thor, then you probably shouldn't drink his beer. I didn't know where to go with that. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you guys next week for episode 144, where we're going to be drinking
beer.